Come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said, come walk with me. Save your feet
Not when
and
I'm getting ready to go live. You tell
toes.
me this. You can't.
Cause if I say come walk with me,
Great,
you'll
why
just
is
a
it?
know.
I tell you. Hey, YouTube.
Yeah, come walk with me.
Great, why is
And
it? Facebook and
save
YouTube.
your toes and feet.
Let me turn this music down.
Yeah, I said, come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. Y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all.
And I had to put lipstick on.
Trying to save my feet and toes.
Great, why isn't YouTube? Great, why isn't? Get your back, get your weights, line up if you're walking wall to wall. Jump on your bike, start your treadmill. I was talking, when I went up on YouTube, it said something about moderators. I only see 2 views, or two, I see 2 views, and I don't see any likes. So in my head, I don't understand why I even need moderators. I think 2 people is plenty, and I walk, and I talk, but I don't understand. I appreciate them giving me more credit for viewers. Every day I see on YouTube 2 or 3 views. On Facebook, maybe 7. So I don't understand why we need moderators for anything. Anybody want to say anything to me? We'll do it in the comments. Yes. Oh. Great Rod isn't. Yes. I'm thinking about doing a lottery, but I got to check with everybody. I got to check with Facebook and YouTube. And it's going to be name the state and city that I'm going to in Pacific Standard Time on the East Coast. And when you put the comment in, when you put your answer in the comment, then I see it. I write your name on a piece of paper. And then when I pull the name, if you win, then we'll talk whether you want Cash App, Zelle, or whatever. But I haven't worked out the details yet. And I have to get permission. Because if I'm wrong, they'll be done. Snatch my page down, child. You know. So, I am going to do that. I'm so glad, yes, I moved the cameras back so y'all can see my feet. So, yes, I was in there thinking, you know, this is my second airplane ride in over 30 years. And and as far as vacation is concerned, I really thought the only vacation I would have would be dying. So, so this is definitely a plus. But I'm not going to vacation. I've always wanted to go to like a writer's retreat. Someplace where I could focus on nothing but writing. Now I have to add to it my videos. And that's all I think about. From dawn to dusk. And that's all I'm doing. And I have this chance to do this. And I'm going to do it. And though I asked folks to come with me, they may still come once I get there. Because you know how people are. They're like, oh, I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket. I don't see your eggs in that basket. But I don't know. I have all my securities and shit. I got my DNAers. That's what me and my daughter call it. How we gonna leave some DNA? They're gonna be able to track you to your daddy, to your pappy, like they did that guy in Idaho. So that's what I'll be working on, the contest. Yes. Who knew? Who knew? I mean, I hope for it. I work for it. We're now third year walking. I walked for 2 years, and now I can reward myself. And now I can reward myself, so might as well while I can do it. And it's going to be something because I'm going to be walking wall to wall. I was going to get a treadmill, and I was like, no, I ain't even going to do all that. We'll just walk wall to wall, line up, and walk wall to wall like I be asking Noah to do. I shall be doing it myself. I imagine it'll be harder. You know? But I tell you, we're getting there. And I keep saying, I'm going to a free state. A state where enslavement never was allowed, accepted, or anything like that. To me, I think it have to have a different vibe. Now, I'm not saying the people have to have a different vibe, because nowhere I'm going, Hatfields and McCoys are strong. So, they're thing of handing down hate for other people from generation to generation, it's probably still there. But I don't think the land is not like that. The land doesn't hold that hate. And that's a free state. Someplace I've never put my foot down. There was no way that I would finally be able to go somewhere on a retreat or a vacation, such that I was really going to go to a state that's whole basis of economy was the enslavement of our ancestors. I'm not doing that. I don't see that as a vacation. I don't. I feel that burden deep. That air is so freaking heavy for me. It is so heavy. The air of enslavement, not only does the land spit out, but the people are so vile, because that's all they know. Nope. Never would go to. I'm even afraid if I jump over an enslavement state to get to a free state, if something happened to me, I'd probably be in an enslavement state. I don't want to be there. I'm up here in Connecticut. Oh, did I say Connecticut? Y'all know me. And the Northeast, and trust me, the enslavement there is thick. The people are still the same. And you say, oh man, a lot of those people came from Europe. In the early 1900s, they came from Europe. How that hate and that racism so ingrained in them. But it's thick here too. So I want to go. It's weird, but I can't wait to reach this state where enslavement never happened, where my ancestors could walk through there with minimal problem, because like I tell you, it's the people hand down from generation to generation. I can just see them sitting around the table. Well, you know you're supposed to hate all the little black kids. Yes, Daddy, I hear you. I'm going to make sure I hate them. We're going to trip them down the stairs. So I know how that is. Oh, you know, you can't rent to them. Don't sell to them. Don't buy. From generation to generation. So, oh, and I'm not dealing with the people when I go, because I'm going to write and such. So I want to have minimal contact with them, because they are the Hatfields and McCoys. Never want to forget that. When we forget they're the Hatfields and McCoys, we usually wind up dead. I guess I can see now why my videos are on the bottom of the list on Facebook and YouTube. But the ethers know. It's on the ethers. And the ethers know. The ethers know. The ethers know. And that's what's important. Put it on the ethers. Get it out on the ethers. And that's what you're doing. Putting it out on the ethers. Or what I'm doing. So, I don't understand moderators. Now here's the thing. In February, when I come back up, since I'll be on the West Coast, the walk will be 10 a.m. on the East Coast. So I remember a lot of people say, oh, you walk at 7, that's so early, that's so early. Well, for at least 3 weeks, you'll be able to catch the walk at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. You'll be able to catch the walk. It'll be on 7 Pacific Standard Time. And that way, when I do the contest, I won't have people say, oh, it was so early, I couldn't get up, I didn't see it. It won't be like that. It will be different. El different. I'm excited. Never been in a free state, a state that didn't have enslavement in my whole life. But on the East Coast, every footstep you put down, you hear the ancestors say, oh, oh. And then everything you do, from jobs to going in the stores, thank goodness for the internet, you can buy online, you ain't got to see no nasty old scrunchy face looking at you like you dirt while you handing over your money. That's why my mother used to order from Spiegel's. She didn't want to go to stores. She didn't want to go in any stores. She said she couldn't take it. She said she couldn't take them looking at her like dirt while she was handing over her money. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, she always did from Spiegel's. She used to have to send a lot of stuff back. But she used to try to order from Spiegel's where she wouldn't have to see like she said, take that abuse while you're handing over your money. And I have gone through it myself. That's a horrible thing. That is a horrible thing. So, I'm going to a state that never, it didn't reach. When they brought the prisoner of wars more, when the Brits brought the prisoner of war more to these shores, and I did go to one when I worked. I did recreation, so we went to a lot of these places. And I went to James Landing or Jamestown Landing, whatever bullshit, where the Brits first brought the prisoner of wars Moors into this. It's not a continent. This area. But now I'm going to someplace. Oh. That stopped. That said, no, we're not doing this slavery here. You're not going to keep the prisoner of war, the descendants of the prisoner of war, more people. Not doing that no more. These states, if you're into these states, you are free. And that's where I'm going.
I said I'm walking on, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Yeah, come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. 'Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. 'Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. 'Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Yeah.
You know, hey, we're back. You know, when I was younger and I was in school, music, and I had a piano teacher with my grandmother, and they only taught European pianos, Mozart, Brahms, Beethoven, little things like that. And everything about it was, European, and how he hears it in his head and different things like that. But they didn't, I used to hear our music all the time, but in school and such, it wasn't taught, and they weren't taught as great musicians or great makers of music. That was only reserved for the Europeans. So when musical songs and different things came to me, when I was younger, I would hear a little jingle or something. I would stifle it, because basically, if we hear that, then you're crazy. If I say, oh, I have this song that's in my head, instantly you're crazy because the color of your skin. But now, if you're in a cult and you're an organist for the church, or you're control of the choir, you could say you hear music, and this is what you want to do, and everybody will understand that that's God blessing you. But just to say you hear songs in your head, they'll lock you up. So I never really shared the songs or little ditties that used to come in my head, because to me, you are crazy when you hear that, or if you sit there, you're crazy. White people can do it, and like I said, if you're in a cult, then they say, well, God is doing it, putting that music in your head. So that's how I looked at it. But when I became an adult and I was able to start writing it as music or making up songs and hearing it myself, then I was like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Like, you can literally do a whole symphony. You can hear each instrument on its own, And again, you don't say anything, because, again, that's only what white people do. Now, we had Motown and different things like that, and we could sing that kind of stuff. But it was to be expected. I hope I'm explaining it correctly. I sang in the choir. I sung in the school choir. I could sing different altos or second sopranos or first soprano. So I know about octaves and key change and all that stuff. But I couldn't go and say, oh, Grandma, I have this song I hear in my head. You just play the standards, you go by the standards, and you call it good. So I find it to be so much fun when I put my songs together, or I make up my songs, and then I can hear each thing, and like, you hear the song I'm Walking, there's so much more to it that's in my head, so much more background, different guitars, just the whole thing in my head. Just like I'm walking, and I sat down at the garage thing on the Mac Pro, and I was able to do that. But as much as I love music, it was just, I think maybe if I hadn't been under that cult or anything to do with the cult, I would have been able to do more with my music. These cults are horrible. Ugh. Just horrible. All of them. All of them. I remember we was in the Lutheran church in East New York then, and I just asked my, they had went through the whole thing with the Israelites and the 40 years and how special they are. And I just remember because we used to go do the market on Sunday with the Hasidics. And I just asked my mother, who said they were the special people? The chosen. Who chose them? And she goes, oh, girl, you're so stupid, you don't know the answer. An adult will finally answer the question and say, God. I said, wow. Why didn't he choose us? Don't be so stupid. Okay. Then you start thinking, as you get older, you start learning all the things, all the wonderful things that they teach you that this God does. And then I think back, especially when I was like, oh, enough already with the cults. And I said, wouldn't the all-powerful God put them people in a better situation? Have you been to Crown Heights? Yeah, they have like communities upstate New York. But they're on social services. They're on welfare. So I'm not understanding this powerful God that said they were chosen. Ain't they supposed to walk around in silver and gold? See how cults don't make no sense? And I was like, well, why? Why wouldn't God choose us? What did we do that he didn't choose us? Y'all know what I got, right? Stop being so stupid. Yes, yes. I don't know if it's like now they got the Googles and stuff. But back when I was a child, if the adults didn't know how to answer your questions, they just call you stupid. They started making it so you would not ask those questions. That you would just keep this to yourself. Yeah. Yep. That you would not ask those questions, so everything was stupid. Why are you so stupid, girl? And definitely you were stupid. How come that old naked man cursed us? That ham person, that's supposed to be us? That's what I heard is supposed to be us? Because we're wicked. Like, no, you're wicked. Ooh. Them cults. They raised my daughter in one. Mm-mm. Nope, and I wasn't one. Can you imagine? Oh, I told y'all, when I finally broke free, I knew I was free because I stopped having the nightmares. That was the first time in my life I didn't have nightmares. The cults get into your head, honey, and it's harder to get them out than it was for them to get inside you. But I guess that's why I don't have people my age, that's because we all get ready to get off the exit ramp and the separation of matter and energy. And they're debating and they're struggling with whether they're going to heaven or hell. And I feel so sorry for them because I want to say, you're not going to either. The matter's going to drop to the ground, and your energy is going to be energy. It has nothing to do with heaven and hell. Now, I would imagine, I'm just imagining, if you ask your energy to go into this void because you think there's a blonde-haired man with sandals and blue eyes that's going to give you honey. What is that? The streets made of honey, gold, or something. But I have since learned that in the coast, if your skin is brown, the only place you going is ghetto heaven. Servants' quarters. Oh, almost like here. Whew. Now, if you with that other group that says you get your own planet, you don't get your own planet. The brown-skinned people don't get the planet. You get to live on a planet owned by white people. Whoo, don't that sound like here? Whoo. These cults. I remember when I was in South Carolina, that thing used to be, in my father's house, there are many mansions. Dinging. And where we used to live in South Carolina, I used to walk to the Battery a lot. And there was mansions all over that place. But we couldn't get inside them. Okay, we could go through the back to be the servants. So as I was walking, I was like, I don't want to die and go to heaven. I ain't going to be working in no white people's mansion in heaven. And here, does the nightmare ever end? Stop this thing, Jane. I want to get off. Whew. So I knew right then and there. I was like, no. But keep your mouth shut, because cult is family. 10, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost good luck. And though I have family and friends out there, a lot of my family are in cults. And the first thing I had to do when I dropped the cults was drop them. They didn't have to worry about shunning me. I shunned them. I didn't want to hear the bullshit. 10, not up, no down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Almost good luck. Don't pray for me. That no blonde-haired, blue-eyed man with sandals come to my house. Trust and believe. Don't do it.
And save your chosen feet.
If I open my door,
yeah,
I see a blonde-haired man in sandals,
save
in a robe,
chosen feet.
at my door,
Cause when you walk with
I got 2 pit bulls.
you can eat the food
I'm gonna let
you
loose.
eat.
Don't pray for them to come to my house.
I'm walking, y'all.
Keep them at your house.
Trying to save my feet and toes.
Eyes and ears and nose.
I said I'm walking, y'all. Trying to save my feet and toes.
Eyes and ears and nose.
Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose.
Yes. Thanks for coming on the walk.
I'm
Like,
walking, y'all.
Comment, share.
Trying to save my feet
Tell uncle, tell
and
auntie, tell cousin, tell a friend.
toes.
Subscribe.
I said I'm walking, y'all.
Thanks for coming on the walk.
Trying to stay
I'll see you tomorrow.
with the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna